Game 3 here, and this board took me a little bit of time to figure out for whatever reason, but there's quite a few things going on here, right? So the first thing I saw, okay, there's library. Maybe I could get some draw going with library, bandit camp library, maybe workers village library, but there's also draw and gear. And then I saw, well, okay, maybe that's better, bandit camp and gear. Workers village is a plus buy, okay, the engine is better now. There's trashing and trading post, which is good and which is actually very, very key. And the last thing that I noticed, and I'm glad I noticed this before I decided to do anything, was Beggar and Gardens. Beggar and Gardens, and all this engine stuff goes out the window in the face of Beggar and Gardens because it is that strong. However, like I said in the beginning, oh, this is the beginning still, like I said earlier, trading post is the key card, and what I plan to do if my opponent goes for Beggar and Gardens is to buy the gardens and then trash them to trading post. It's not the nicest thing to do, but it is what I have to do if I don't want to get overrun with Beggar and Gardens. I think the safe way to go about it. So I open with the gear and the silver for that reason. Angling for an engine with gear, bandit camp, workers village, and trading post, and my opponent goes for double beggar. So I see where he's going already, right? Very, very transparent, clear plans here. 4, I could get a workers village already, but I think the second gear is in order because if I want to deny these gardens, I need to be able to find my trading post more frequently. So that's why I pick up the second gear, and gear is great. You know, it could make shuffles nicer, make you get to 5, all sorts of things. So here my opponent gets 5, and I thought this would have been a gardens. 100% thought this would be a gardens. My opponent picks up a bandit camp. So now, not really sure what's going on. So here I have 5. I'm gonna go for my trading post, still sticking to the plan. I mean, even if my opponent doesn't go for gardens, my plan should still be fine. Especially pathfinding. Yeah, that is a powerful event. There's a reason why that is the most expensive one in adventures, anyway. Yeah, sticking that down on Workers Village or Bandit Camp is incredible. And on 5 here, I'm gonna pick up a Bandit Camp now. My opponent goes for Workers Village on 4 here, so maybe, okay, see what you're doing. Maybe get a lot of Workers Villages. Maybe, you know, you can buy a lot of coppers off the extra buys. Maybe double gardens a turn or something. Alright, but this isn't typically how you play Beggar and Gardens. You usually open 2 Beggars and then buy Gardens for the rest of the game. If you can't buy Gardens, you buy Beggar. So here this gear, I'm able to set aside an estate with the trading post. So next turn, that's going to disappear. More beggars for my opponent. Still no gardens. Still no gardens. And the longer he takes is the more time he gives me to set up this engine. So I already have a couple gears, a couple villages. Now this is a storyteller. Reason for the storyteller, just draw to see my trading post more frequently. I anticipate having to cut off gardens, and I really want to not have those gardens clog up my deck. So I just want to find my trading post with the gardens, which is why I bought that storyteller. Just maximum draw, hard push through the deck. So again, still no gardens for my opponent. Workers Village and Beggar there. And I believe it is at this point where I decide, oh no, not yet. I'll tell you after. Now you'll have to be in suspense. Just another bandit camp for me. At this point, continuing to build the engine. Couple workers villages, Beggar play 6 3 buys, right? So obviously you want to buy 3 things, workers village and Beggar. Copper, no gardens yet, still no gardens. So I feel very comfortable in my position. My opponent's deck is full of copper, so I have nothing to worry about. Here is where I make the play. I decide to start in on the gardens before my opponent, trying to deny them. So my opponent responds by picking up a gardens of their own here. And yeah, we're gonna race gardens for a while here, and I think at this point I'm in a much better position to get more than half the gardens because of the little plus buy in the workers village there. So at this point, and probably throughout the remainder of the game, I'm really just going to use gear to set aside bad cards so that they don't interfere in the next shuffle. That's really the whole point of it. So here you see I get rid of the gardens from my deck. Don't want that stall card there. Spending the spoils just to get the spoils out of the deck. The spoils isn't going anywhere. I can get them back very easily. And if they're there, they get in between a village and a gear. So get rid of the spoils. stick that pathfinding token on the bandit camp and pick up another gear. So we in a gear, as I like to say. Spoils coming out for my opponent, going for a gardens and another beggar. So maybe they were going for some kind of tree pile on the villages and the beggars, but usually you get a tree pile anyway, beggar gardens on the estates or on the duchies. I don't know. I don't know what was the reasoning behind this alternative style of playing beggar gardens. So here I set aside a gear for the next turn because, well, I don't need it now, obviously. Getting rid of a couple coppers, spending all these spoils. Need a second plus buy, not second, third plus buy. Going to pick up a workers village here. 15 money, yeah? 15 money. That's a lot of money. Just a workers village and a gardens here. I spent half the money. Very good. So again, yeah, storyteller coming out for massive draw as I mentioned. So with this gear I could set aside one of my gears for the next shuffle, get rid of this gardens and triple gardens out. So I've been able to purchase 5 gardens, leaving with my opponent with 3, and now they are stuck with just a deck full of coppers. And they can't really do much now from this position. So I just have to get rid of these gardens and start knocking down the provinces before my opponent can force a 3 pile on the beggars and workers villages, which are starting to get low. So I do keep one of the gardens eventually. Like, I don't trash this last gardens from my deck because, I mean, his points and my deck is getting bigger. So, and I need to pay attention to the piles as well. So that's why I keep the 1 gardens. 13 is an easy province and bandit camp. If I'm able to do that, that is just going to be the end of the game very quickly. Because I'll get to double province and then to triple province because bandit camp is great like that. So gear, setting aside the 2 greens, getting rid of a couple coppers, and I have 19 double province and another gear since I have tons of actions. Not a great hand here, but still going to be able to pick up our province and just cement my lead at this point. So really, yeah, I'm not a fan of the whole denial strategy. At this point, trading post is bad, so that's why I set it aside. Yeah, not a fan of the whole denial thing. I don't really like it when people do that to me, so I try to not do that to people, but I don't know, man. Beggar Gardens is very scary. So I felt like I had to do it to win this game. So that is game 3. Just going to finish out the provinces here. Have a good roll. Well, enough money for a province anyway, and the estate. So that's game 3. Thanks for watching and see you in the next game.